Hello, y'all. I am back again for another video. So, this video is going to be about narcissists and transportation. So, when it comes to narcissists and transportation, I am going to start out with the minimal transportation issue. And I will first begin by explaining this. When you change your transportation or the way you used to transport yourself. So, say you go from buying fancy vehicles and buying new vehicles, and you decide, I don't want vehicles for a while. So, I'm going to do Uber and buses. And other people have found this out as well. What will happen is when you change anything in your life, even if it's just your transportation, this is actually a way of repelling narcissists. And this is why you can't get to narcissists as readily as you used to. So, what will happen is you may find that you were actually the driving force to the relationship. And I mean literally the driving force. So, for example, you're in a relationship and nobody sits there usually and says, well, I'm with the narcissist. The last 5 times I've seen him or her, I'm the one that's driving to their house. They're never coming to my house. That usually happens, or they're never coming to meet you. Maybe you don't let the narcissist in your house. So, what happens in this type of situation is most people don't realize it right away. However, if you change your transportation system, or some of y'all might decide to tell narcissists and everyone that, hey, I don't even have a vehicle. Some people will do that, y'all. I don't drive no more. Stuff like that. I mean, people have to do whatever they need to do to protect themselves. But I'm going to go over some of the ways I do things. And I strongly urge you to take heed to what I'm saying and take heed to my advice. So, number one, I do not drive to, let me change that. I do not catch buses to people's homes. And this is why. Usually, I am not in a situation where most of the people homes that I would be going to is a bus ride down the street. That usually will not be my situation, okay? So, with that being said, number one, I do not catch buses to people's homes. For one, I'm not a teenager, okay? So, in the era that I lived in, when I didn't say I never have caught a bus to a friend's home. I'm saying I do not right now because, for one, I am not a teenager, okay? So, I'm going to explain to you what you're doing when you do this activity. So, catching the bus to people's homes, okay? If you are going to be doing that, there needs to be no vehicle at that home that you're going to. Because if there's a running vehicle or several running vehicles, 1, 2, sometimes people got 3, 4, 5 cars, you should not be on a bus. The exception would be is you live a block away from the bus stop and it's one bus, and that bus is almost going to let you off within 10 to 20 minutes right at their house. That would be like the only literal exception. Thank you so much for coming into the live. So this live Click a like since you're in here. This live is going to be about narcissists and transportation. And I started out discussing the bus element, and this video, it's going to get more interesting as I go into the video. So, narcissists and transportation. So, I'm going to mention this one more time, y'all. I do not catch buses to people's homes. Okay. I do not do it. Okay. And whether I have a vehicle or not, with the vehicle, I don't do it. And without a vehicle, I don't do it. What you're doing when you do that, for one, you may not know that you're actually going into a narcissist's home at first. So when narcissists have several vehicles, one or two running vehicles at their home, and you're catching the bus there, you're actually submitting yourself. And what you're showing this person is that they're superior over you. It's almost like a slave master relationship. You may not think that that's what you're doing, but that is actually what you're doing. And if you are entering or going to the home of a highly narcissistic person, that's how they're going to perceive it. And this is another reason why not to catch buses to people's homes. Anyone that tells you to catch a bus to their home, and I'm talking about public transportation, y'all, not Greyhound, not catching a bus out of town, not that type of transportation. I'm talking about public transportation within the same state that you're living in. So you're giving that person home that you're entering some form of superiority over you. And I was actually told several years ago that I should catch the bus to their home. I have not done that. I was told this by a male, that I should catch the bus to their family's house. They have not seen me do this. Okay. And I have not done it. So what's happening is when someone tells you this, they don't care about your safety. Okay. Another reason not to catch buses, public transportation to people's homes, is because of the 2 to 3 bus rides or the 2 to 3 buses that you would have to catch. So I'm going to give you a literal example because I like to use examples. Okay. And I did some studying. I do a little homework, y'all, before I do these videos. So I'm going to go over an example and why you should not be doing what I'm saying to do. Okay. Okay, hold on, y'all. So, okay, so a 30-minute drive is approximately 23 miles. Okay. So that's an 8-hour walk. And then if you're on a bicycle, it's 2 hours and 37 minutes. Now, just going 30 minutes away, 23 miles on a bus system, a public bus system. Because remember, a lot of times you got to go to transit centers, and these transit centers are getting quite dangerous, y'all. So you would be on the first bus, potentially 35 minutes. The second bus, you would be on at 56 minutes. And then the third bus, 38 minutes. So you've already been on these buses over 2 hours. And this does not include the walk time that it's going to take you to get to the second and third bus. Okay, so this is about narcissists and transportation, y'all. And I'll say it one more time. 30 minutes of drive time equals about 23 miles. Okay. And then in some states, most states do not have a 2 hour bus ride unless you're getting on like Greyhound or some sort of bus service that's going to take you out of town. But usually you're not on one bus for 2 hours. I haven't actively seen that situation. Not usually, but actively seen that situation. So I gave you a pure example. First bus you're on at 35 minutes. Second bus 56 minutes, 38 minutes. I don't know who you going to see. Okay. Public buses are for doctor's appointments, professional appointments. For me, public transportation is not a system that I'm actively using or will be using to go to anyone's homes. Number one, I don't go into people's homes often. Number two, I don't stay the night at people's homes. In the state that I'm in, it will be very, very rarely, like 0 to none, that I'm staying the night at people's houses. Very, very rarely. Okay. I'm there because a storm comes in and I'm stuck there because it's late. Or say hypothetically, if I make a rare decision to stay the night at someone's home, that person would have to live very, very close to me. Okay. Within 5 to 10 minutes of where I live. Okay. So doing things this way, you will repel a lot of narcissists. You will kick off a lot of people that want to viciously target you for very, very wrong reasons. So, narcissists in transportation, number one, they don't care about you. Okay. Narcissists are also always trying to conform you to be somebody that you're not. So, when I was told by this male several years ago, I would say within the last 4 years, I was told this, the pandemic had ended. So I would say between 2021 and now, I was suggested to just catch buses to that particular residence. I have not done that. Okay. Because it's inappropriate. You know, there's a boundary crosser, and narcissists don't understand. Like, and if you're my friend, you don't need to catch buses to my residence. I can just talk to you on the phone. We could go meet somewhere. See, I'm actually a real friend. So when you my friend, do not put yourself in danger going to 2 to 3 transit centers with tweakers. And even in the best suburbs now, there's drug addicts, tweakers. I mean, transit centers have just turned into nightmares. Okay. Trains, transit centers. So the best system to be using if you do not have a vehicle is to eliminate how often you have to be on public transportation. You will live longer. Okay, so doctor's appointments, places that you have to go to. Another thing, narcissists in transportation, Ubers. Okay. There was an event that I was invited to, and the Uber costs would have ran between $60 to $70 just to get there. Okay. To return, it would have been the same amount. $60 to $70 to return as well. Okay. So I'm mentioning another form of transportation. So you got to ask yourself, this was going to be like a kind of like a potluck type thing. Being there, a potluck lasts what? 2 to 4 hours, 2 to 3 hours, somewhere around there. How many people are going to pay $120 to $140 to come see you, to eat at your house? Some millionaires wouldn't do it. Okay. And if you're doing it, you need to be a millionaire. So you got to think twice. So we'll just say the ride at a minimum $60 there, $60 back, just to go to a potluck. Narcissists don't care about your transportation costs, y'all. That's why I'm calling this video Narcissist and Transportation. They do not care if you spend your rent money going to their house. Narcissists do not care if you catch 2 and 3 buses to their house and you get yourself killed, seriously injured, or seriously injured. They don't care about this. That particular male that told me to, or gave me the suggestion to catch buses to his location and to his family's house, he doesn't care about my age, how I feel about buses. All narcissists want you to do is to conform to their wishes and do what benefits them so they can talk about you. So she caught 2 hours of buses to my house. A lot of people are this evil, y'all. That's why you got to be very careful about following directions or following the suggestions of others. Imagine this, you follow that suggestion. The narcissist says, catch the bus in to my family's house, and you do it. And they're aware it's 2 to 3 buses. They may give you a ride home or they may not. You've lowered your standards, so they might tell you, well, hey, you caught the bus here, catch the bus back. Imagine this. You catch the bus, you catch 2 or 3 buses, the example I gave you in the beginning. And then when you leave, they say this. I'm just going to give you an example of why to be very leery taking these suggestions and acting on it and doing what they've suggested. Thank you so much for the like. What if they say, or the narcissist says, and I'm just going to use this example because this is a male that suggested this to me several years ago. What if this male said, that's a stupid ass bitch. That whole stupid. Man, you know what that bitch did? That bitch caught 2 or 3 buses to my motherfucking house. And I got 2, 4, 5 vehicles out here. Man, that bitch stupid. That bitch is really crazy. It's no way in the hell I would have did that. Catch a bus. I ain't never caught a bus. This is what the narcissist is saying because you did this, right? You did this. You took their suggestion and you caught 2 or 3 buses to a narcissist's house. So you don't know when you left that this is how this narcissist talked about you in front of other people. People will do this, y'all. That's why you gotta have you gotta learn power and control. And you gotta learn how it's viewed by other people so you can stay out of these zones. Always carry yourself somewhat high class. Just because you do not have a vehicle doesn't mean you got to be catching buses to people's house. Why ain't you at your own house? Why are you catching buses to people's homes, catching 2 and 3 buses? I gave the exception. You're right on the bus line. You're going to a person's home that they don't have a car as well. There's one little bus a block away. You're on that bus 10 or 20 minutes and it lets you off right at the corner of their house. That's an exception. However, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, most people that homes I would enter do not literally live down the street from me. But a couple of people do. And I don't catch buses there. So hello to Oisha. Oisha. Ethernet. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Oisha. OISHAETIENNET. So Oisha Etinet. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. Hello to you and thanks for coming into the live. Click a like if you haven't already clicked the live. So this is going to be very important because you have a big advantage. You know, if your car breaks down or you say, well, you know what, I want to save some money, and you stop purchasing expensive vehicles and you say, well, hey, as of right now, I don't even want to use vehicle. You have an advantage in some sense because number one advantage is you're going to get a lot of narcissists out of your life. See, that vehicle being out of your life will teach you how to run your life. So for one, you'll start understanding the importance of doing things within your community. So you will learn how to organize your life better. You know, sometimes when you have a vehicle, you're like all over the place, right? You're 30 minutes away, you're 40 minutes away, 50 minutes away. A lot of times you're driving 30, 40, 50 minutes away when actually you could go right down the street to some of these places. Oh, I'm going to go to my favorite grocery store 30 minutes away when you could actually create a new grocery store near your house. But sometimes you got to drive, you got to Uber in, you got to rent a car. I understand that. But narcissists in transportation, they do not care about you. I'm going to say this one more time. I do not catch buses to people's houses. I don't care what a narcissist suggests to me because I know how narcissists are. See, I know for one, when a male especially says that to me, he doesn't care about me, not in the real sense of the word. You got to remember there's certain things that narcissists or narcissistic people will say to you that empaths will never say to you. See, I have empathy, so I'm not going to tell you to catch a bus to my house. I don't want you to do it. I don't want you to do it because, for one, if something happens to you, I don't want to be feeling responsible or bad that you got brutally attacked at the transit center. You have no business, especially in today's times, catching 2 to 3 buses to people's houses. What are you doing that for? You know how much stuff you could be getting done at your own house? So hopefully you're learning something from this video because I had the experience where a male told me to do that. So what will happen next? Okay, the next thing, narcissists in transportation. You got to start looking at this different. You don't have a vehicle. It's going to cost you $60 to $100, $60 to $70 to just get to someone's home. It's going to cost you the same amount, 60 to 70 to $100 to get back from their residence. Okay. And with Uber, you could just be going 30 minutes away, 23 to 25 miles, and pay this $60. Would they do this for you? Nobody's ever done it for me, y'all. Ain't nobody ever came to my residence and spent $120 to $200 to get to my residence for 2 or 3 hours. Nobody's ever done it. For one, nobody's ever done it because I ain't going to let you do that. Not if I have vehicles parked outside my residence. I'm not going to let you do that. I would never let my friend or family member pay that much to come to my house. And it's not an emergency, and I'm available to pick you up. Maybe if they're paying that because I had a major medical crisis. Even then, if I'm aware enough to talk, I'm going to say, no, that's okay. I got it. I'm just not like that, y'all. So I talked about this in another video. So I'm just going to give you a suggestion. Become the type of person that at any time you will change your mind. Become the type of person that you become known to do it, or you are willing to do it to the point where somebody calls you bipolar. And I'm not saying do it every day, or, I'm not saying get like totally insane with it, but so many people are so obligated because they gave their word. Just text a person. This is what texting is for. I believe that texting is good for this. I'm going to be doing a video about text too later on today. Narcissists and text messages. Oh my goodness. I got to really help us all get this right before the new year starts. Narcissists and text messaging. We got to get this right. I got a very interesting video coming up about that. And I'm going to be doing that before today is over. I am going to be cooking for my relatives' work event and sending some food. So I'm going to be happy to do that. So anyway, going back to the subject matter, I just wouldn't want anybody to spend that kind of money to see me. But the thing is, with narcissists, they're not going to stop you from doing it, right? So with narcissists, you got to stop yourself. And it's just not financially wise, no matter how much money you think you got, to actually be spending $60 to $100 to get to someone's cookout. Nobody's going to do that for you. So automatically, when someone's allowing you to do that, they're not very empathic. Also, another issue with narcissists and transportation, if your goal is to get another brand new car or get you a good quality used car, it's going to be hard for you to do that if you're jumping in Ubers and Lyfts and cabs, spending anywhere from $60 to $100 getting to someone's house. Another piece of advice or suggestion I was told, just buy you a hoopty. I don't tell people to do stuff like that. Some of the suggestions that highly narcissistic people will give me is things I would never tell people. I don't tell people what to purchase with their money. I feel like it's a boundary crosser. I feel like this. If you are an adult, girl or boy, man or lady, you already know when you walk outside that there's vehicles. Okay. So if I don't see you with a vehicle and you're not purchasing a vehicle, or you've already had vehicles and you currently don't have one, I'm not going to tell you to go buy a hoopty, a brand new car, a limousine, or an airplane. And the reason I'm not going to tell you what to buy is because I'm not going to be the one fixing it. And I'm not going to be the one loaning you money when it's broke down, because the repair might be too much. I might not have that amount to loan you. So, this was another suggestion that I was given. Narcissistic people are going to give you all these suggestions. They're going to tell you to get on the bus. This is about narcissists and transportation. Your transportation. They're going to tell you to get on buses to come see them. They're going to tell you to buy a hoopty, which would be a raggedy, low-grade vehicle. And the reason that they tell you this type of advice is because they want you beneath them. When you buy this hoopty and when you catch all these 2 to 3 buses to their residence, now they feel like they're above you and you're down here. In their mind. In a normal person's mind, like in my mind, I don't care. Your transportation is your transportation. My transportation is my transportation. But when you submit to these type of standards and you actually submit to someone's suggestion, it gives them a reason to devalue you, and they feel like they're better. Even though you might be able to save more money because you don't have the hoopty, so you don't have all the expenses of repairs and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't do it. I don't catch buses to people's houses. I don't catch buses to people's apartments. And I gave the one exception that may be okay. And that was, one bus is up the street. You get on that one bus, it's 10 to 20 minutes away, maybe 15 minutes. You get off there at that apartment complex, and that's where your friend lives. When you're on buses going to narcissist homes or anyone home, and it usually will be narcissist homes, because empathic people, we don't allow our friends to do that. I have empathy. So don't you get on no 2 to 3 hour bus ride to come see me. If your friends are truly empathic and they real good people to you, and they know you catch buses and they got a vehicle, they should be rolling up, picking you up. The only exchange in those kind of cases would be some gas money. I'm going to pick you up, sis. I'm going to pick you up, man. And then if someone picks me up and I'm going to their house or going to their residence or their house, I will offer gas money. But a real friend, that's all they making you pay is the gas money. It's okay to do that. Don't take advantage of your friends. But good people don't make you pay $60 to $100 to get to their residence, Ubering in, getting a lift in, and getting it back. That goes back to narcissists and transportation. Narcissists and your transportation. And the thing is with narcissists and transportation, because they're a narcissist, there's no emotional empathy, and they don't want to see you do better. They don't care about your expenses. They don't care about your plan to get a vehicle. And they're not extending the help that they could be to you. And a lot of times they will not even have enough emotional empathy to understand why you canceled or didn't show up. If you was Ubering into my house and you lived 30 minutes or more away from me and I invited you over, I already know why you didn't show up. I already know why you canceled. Because I know that Uber to get to my house is anywhere from $60 to $100. Minimum $60 just to go 30 minutes away, y'all. This is the truth. On the West Coast, this is how much it costs. This stuff adds up, y'all. You paying $120 to $200 just to get to one person house every month. Gosh, you didn't spend thousands and thousands before the year is over. This stuff is a waste of money. So I encourage you to consider, if this is something that you're dealing with, please share this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I encourage you to consider, as of right now, to put a halt to, cease, and stop catching the bus to people's residences. Stop doing that. Stop paying high cost Ubers to go to people's houses. I catch Ubers to doctor's appointments, schools, professional appointments, to work, to events. Does any of this include something at people's houses? No, it does not. If you're going to pay like $35, $30 to get to someone's house and they're going to give you a free ride home, that may be okay. You got to watch how often you do that. You won't get richer doing this stuff. If you're catching all these buses and all these Ubers and Lyfts and cabs into people's cities to go to their residence and their homes, that's time you're spending away from your residence, and you could be doing something else. You could be doing something else. Some of y'all gonna do this, and while you away from the house, you're gonna get robbed. Somebody gonna steal something. Hopefully you ain't got friends that's that bad, but a lot of times while you on them buses going to somebody's house, the wrong people know you gone and they robbing you. They're gonna break in. So just be very careful. I usually don't hang around those kind of people, y'all. That's one thing I could say. You know, anybody's home that I visit, they not targeting my house when I'm not at home. That's one thing I could say. For one, they ain't targeting it because half the time somebody don't know where I live. Let's start there. Stop telling people your location so much. So, yeah, this is just my suggestion that I gave throughout this video, the suggestions that I gave, and I'm serious about this. I'm telling you the truth of how people will do you and talk about you too. I gave the example. You do what they say, you take the suggestion. And a male that gives you the suggestion to catch buses to his residence, what's the motivation behind it? Okay. For one, the motivation is his narcissism, because there's no emotional empathy when he says it. Two, he's testing you. And a male that says this, they say it because sometimes you're unmarried, without a boyfriend, you're a single lady, you don't have a mate or companion. And so their narcissism, they're testing you, and they don't have a regard for your safety. And they feel like there's nobody that's going to confront them about it. Like you don't live violent and ignorant. So you're not going to put a male on your on your phone and say, hey, bitch ass nigga, don't tell my motherfucking family to catch buses to your motherfucking house, bitch ass nigga. You don't roll like that. So because you don't carry yourself that way, they don't feel threatened by you. And you don't want anyone to feel threatened by you. Don't be that way. You don't want to be the person. Just don't do what they say. I never caught the bus to these people's house. I went to an event and hung out, but I just will not do it. They never gonna see me catch a bus to their house. So they don't feel superior to me. The next time they saw me, I was catching an Uber into an event that we met at. So I'm still rolling up in a vehicle, right? So I just don't take these people's suggestions, but I also notate them in my memory bank. That's why I'm doing this video about it. So expensive Ubers, busting it in. I'm going to give you the example I gave you once again. So 30 minutes away, that's 23 miles. That's driving time. So an example of a bus trip, 30 minutes away, driving time. Okay, that's driving time. But in the bus world, 30 minutes away, which would be 23 miles on average. The first bus, you walk to the bus stop 5 to 10 minutes. That one bus, 35 minutes. You get off that bus. You walk a few minutes. That second bus is 56 minutes. You get off that bus, walk across the street. That bus is 38 minutes. And then another 10-minute walk from there to get to the house you're going to. You just as well say you didn't spend 3 hours. You didn't spend 3 hours. If you add the walking time, the bus time, 35 minutes, 56 minutes, 38 minutes, 3 buses. Please do not do this to yourself. A narcissist that's suggesting that you bus into their house knowing that you 30 minutes driving time away. Narcissists know that there's 2 or 3 buses when you live 30 minutes away. They know how it is busing in from suburbs and cities on the outskirts. They already know. They don't care. They already know that it's tweakers and all kind of drug addicts and dangerous people, potential serial killers at transit centers. Because narcissists drive by these locations, okay? They're in their vehicles and they drive by transit centers. They go into transit centers sometimes to make U-turns. They know that these places are not safe for y'all. Again, thank you so much for the likes. They know that it's not safe. So when I say narcissists and transportation, you always want to or people in general, not you per se, but people in general, or we always want to dissect. Are they a narcissist? Or are they this? You think too much into it. So the bottom line is, yes, they're suggesting to you that you catch a bus to their house, 2 to 3 buses. You live 30 minutes or more away from these particular people or person. Yes, that person is behaving like a narcissist at that time. You don't need to dissect it. Yes, at that moment, they are a narcissist. That's not an empath. Empaths don't tell you to do stuff like that. And I gave you the reasons why. Their narcissism is making them do it. They're testing you. And number 3, they want to feel superior to you. And I told you the worst case example earlier of when you do it. That's why a lot of people that do what narcissists say, they get talked about so bad. Yeah, that bitch must be lonely. She called 2 to 3 buses to my motherfucking house, dog. Old stupid ass bitch. This is how people will talk about you. They will. But if you don't put yourself in that situation, people will be least likely to talk about you in that way. They will be least likely to talk about you. They sure will. Narcissists in transportation. And narcissists in transportation, the thing with narcissists, y'all, they have a lot of resources. And narcissistic people, they're very blessed with resources, vehicles, and all kind of resources. And they can be very handy. But because of the empathy, they don't offer it. So you want to be interacting with people. This is my suggestion. If you're choosing at this point in your life, due to whatever your reasons are, not to have a vehicle, you want to be around friendly people that are like, you need a ride. If you don't mind me asking, how much is your Uber? Some people will cover your Uber for you. They'll say, if you catch the Uber in, we got you. We'll pay for it. But narcissists and transportation, they like to not offer things, and narcissists will do this. They like to not offer it to you to keep you beneath them, or they feel like you're beneath them. You're not beneath anybody just because you don't have transportation, because it's a choice that you're making. Many people have cars and they have $5 in the bank, but you, because you don't have a vehicle, you have 3,000, 4,000, 20,000. You got a little bit in the bank. So sometimes not having a vehicle doesn't mean you're like without anything. But narcissists, they don't want to see you progress and come up, and their suggestions are just usually horrible and don't serve your best interests. The narcissists want you to buy a hoopty because all they're concerned about is you're visiting them, you visiting them. They're not concerned about the fact that this hoopty is going to be breaking down on you every month, and you're going to have more bills and mechanical bills to pay to keep this hoopty running. The narcissist doesn't even care about how horrible you may feel being in a vehicle like that. Narcissists just don't care about this type of stuff. If a narcissist is giving you a suggestion to catch the bus to their house, they don't care if you're killed at the transit center. They're going to say it ain't their fault. They didn't make you get on the bus. That's on you. You should have known not to catch 2 or 3 buses to their residence or to their apartment or home. With narcissistic people, you got to always be thinking, y'all, in general, these type of relationships in the long run, the outcome to it is these type of relationships in the long run just don't work out. Usually empathic people will become more and more distant with these kind of people. There will be other things that narcissistic people will be doing and saying, and I will go over that with the video I'll do later today when I'll be talking about narcissists and text messaging. We got to do better with this text messaging, but that's another video that I'll be doing later. So this narcissist and transportation, this is just part of what they'll be doing. This ain't just everything they're going to be doing. This is just one area where they will use a form of attack or psychological warfare, or like a form of abuse. If I got 2 and 4 cars and I'm allowing you to come to my residence every so often, and I know you spending $120 to $200 a pop just to get to my residence, I'm abusing you. That's financial abuse. It is financial abuse because I know the effect, and the narcissist knows the effect that this is taking on your finances, but they don't give a care about it at all. It's financial abuse. They don't have your best interest at heart. And my sorrow comes, oh my God, narcissists in transportation. I told this little brief story. I never thought I would be telling this story again on this video. Oh my God, I gotta tell you this. Narcissists in transportation. Oh, this case is horrible. When I was displaced years ago, I had a conversation with a homeless man. He was an older homeless man, white man, very kind man. He was going through hell. He was living up under bridges, being assaulted by the police and everything. And and I don't think in the city that I'm in, he was not being assaulted by this police department. Okay, I'm going to add that. The bridges that he was staying under was under another policing district that's not the policing district where I live. So this gentleman, I just wanted to know, I'm like, he was an older white man. I asked, his name was Ron. I asked Ron, I said, what happened? Narcissist in transportation. He had a friend that he grew up with that was a narcissist or potential psychopath, right? And let me see. No, that particular friend, that's the friend that robbed his checks from him because he was using that friend's address. Okay, so I don't know for sure. So let me change this. That particular friend, and I talked to that friend on the phone. Ron, had became mentally disabled. He had been in the street so long, right? And the friend wouldn't even give him his check that was coming to his address so he could go to a motel or hotel for a while. But anyway, I can't say that that friend is the one that gave him this horrible advice. But Ron, this is why he was homeless decades and decades, y'all. He had a vehicle, a used vehicle that ran really well. And he lived in the vehicle. He had heat and everything. But he was dead broke because he didn't have a job. So someone suggested to him that he sell his vehicle. This was a suggestion that someone gave him. It seemed like something that this psychopath or this narcissistic psychopathic friend that he had would do. I don't know why. I just suspect that this same friend could have gave him this advice. So somebody told Ron, sell your vehicle. And I talked about this in another live. And Ron did it. He's been homeless decades and decades because he sold his house. I would have asked the narcissistic person, well, if I sell my vehicle, where I'm going to go? Okay, I sell my vehicle because I'm dead broke. So where do I live? Can I live with you? But Ron just listened to the narcissistic advice. He never came out of homelessness. Sometimes I wonder if he's passed away now because I haven't seen him in a long, long time. I hope he's well and okay. Maybe he got shelter. I'm hoping that he got shelter. There was a couple of homeless guys out there. I'll never forget their names. James was one of them. He thought I was an informant, y'all. It was so crazy. He thought I was like the police informant. And I was displaced at the time as well, just like they were. I just had my SUV. And then Ron, the white homeless man, James was also a white man as well. But I ended up finding out later that he had told people thought I was an informant, but James confirmed to them that most likely I was not, because I would have my children with me. So James was like, "Come on now. I mean, she's just a mom with a new car or SUV, because informants don't have kids out here with them." So, and he was right. So I'm glad I found out that James confirmed to the other homeless guys that I was not an informant, so I was not under attack. Because sometimes if people on the criminal side of life think you're an informant, they can hurt you or attempt to hurt you. So I found out that what happened was, a couple of years ago I seen James and I donated a little money, not Ron, but James. And then that's when James told me, by the way, some years ago when you and your children was displaced, the other homeless guys and ladies thought you was an informant, and you was an informant for the police department in our district. And I just laughed it off. I was like, wow, they thought I was an informant, because what I would do is donate. I'm like, at least I got my vehicle to live in. So the least I could do is buy them some food, because a lot of the homeless people were out there and didn't even have a meal to eat and no vehicle to live in. So it was really sad. And so, yeah, so that happened. But with narcissists and transportation, I just gave you an example of how, with narcissists and transportation, it's pretty bad, because in that situation with Ron, some narcissists told him to sell his car. It's not an empath, because I'm not going to give you that type of advice. I'm going to tell you to sell your car. And guess how much Ron got, y'all? I think he said he sold his car for about $400. He sold a good running, paid off car that he was living in decades and decades ago, because some narcissist suggested to him that he sell it. As far as I know, that particular narcissist didn't even buy the car. He just told him to sell it for $400. The narcissist that advised him to sell it, as far as I know, was not the one that bought the car. He just gave him the dirty-hearted advice. That's dirty-hearted advice, y'all, that Ron was given. Some narcissistic psychopath or just a pure narcissist told this man to sell his car, and he didn't have a residence. Ron sold a perfect vehicle for $400. And he was never, ever in shelter or living under shelter again. Because believe it or not, your residence is shelter. It has a roof, doors that lock, a trunk, a hatchback if you got an SUV. So it was a very, very bad piece of advice that Ron was given. So this is, gosh, who would have ever known I would have been doing a video about narcissists and transportation and bringing that issue up? I was talking about this in one of my other lives that I did about Ron. I was mentioning Ron. That's what I love about videos, y'all. You just never know what video you're going to end up doing. And so I had no clue that I would be doing a video about narcissists and transportation. So I'm going to end this video on this note. Please don't catch buses to people's homes and residence and apartments. And I gave you the one exception. One exception. I'm going to mention it one more time. The exception would be you don't have a vehicle and the person home that you're going to does not have a vehicle, but y'all live within 10 to 15 minutes apart driving time. You walk up the street, or they walk up the street, and y'all visit one another's homes because there's one little bus that takes you right there, and there's one little bus that brings them to your house. That's about the only exception, y'all. And you're only going to be willing to do that with someone that does not have a vehicle as well. But in that kind of case, if someone's only 10 minutes from you, your Uber could be 10 or $15. So you might want to choose to Uber. But that's the only exception when it comes to the bus. Outside of that type of exception, y'all, do not catch buses to people residence and homes. It gives them power over you, and in some sense, you're submitting to them. They will not respect you, and they also will expect you to do more. If you show a person that you will catch 2 and 3 buses to their residence, and you're not going to their residence to pick up $2,000 that they giving you for free, that they saying, you ain't got to pay this back, dog. But even then, you don't want to become that type of user and abuser. Do not catch buses to people's residence and homes. Do not pay $120 to $200 to go to anyone's residence. And it's not okay. So what? Okay, you think you're going to an empath house. Still don't do it. This type of stuff is not beneficial to you. And we're getting ready to go into a new year, y'all. You got to start doing stuff that's truly beneficial to you. You got to do things that benefit you. Okay? And the thing is, narcissists do it. Ain't no narcissist gonna catch 2 to 3 buses to come to my residence. For one, they're not gonna do it because I'm not gonna allow it. But in those cases, I don't need to allow it. They're not gonna do it. I'm just not important enough to a narcissist. And ain't no narcissist gonna pay $120 to $200 to get to my house for a 2 to 3 hour event. And empaths are not gonna do it neither. But the only difference is the empath is gonna be more loving, and they have emotional empathy, and they're just not gonna be putting your safety at risk. Empathic people don't do stuff like that. They're very conscious of your safety. That's what I love about empaths. We're very, very conscious about your safety. We're just not going to do that to you. We're very, very thoughtful. Narcissists and transportation. Another issue is they won't want to going into town. Okay, so say you're going out of town and you choose not to rent a car and you do Ubers. Narcissists will say things like, well, next time you come in town, rent you a car. Because narcissists don't care about your money. When a narcissist does that and they say, well, next time you come in town, rent you a car, what the narcissistic person is saying in that case is they ain't picking your ass up and doing shit for you. I don't give a damn that you in town. I'm not hospitable to you. I'm not going to show you no hospitality. What the narcissistic person or narcissist is saying to you in that case is that, you know, when you come in my town, you need to have a rental car, bitch or nigga. Because I don't pick broke motherfuckers up. You Ubering around here in my town, bitch or nigga, you better come next time. You need to come through town and have you a rental car, hoe, a nigga. So that's how That is, they're saying it in a passive aggressive way. And until you start kind of figuring out what people are really saying and you take their passive aggressive behavior and turn it into the language I just turned it in, you'll protect yourself more. A lot of empaths don't want to turn that passive aggressive behavior with that simple statement that a narcissist is saying to them. So that would be another example of narcissism and transportation, of how they treat you when you go into the town they live in or the city they live in. Mainly when you're going out of town is when this would happen. So when you go out of town to the state that narcissists are in, they won't give you a ride, basically. They know you paying for Ubers, but they're not going to give you a ride. And it's not because they're at work. There's just no emotional empathy to help you. And it doesn't matter how many kids you bring into their town. If you're going out of state, this will be how narcissists will treat you when it comes to narcissists and transportation. So I hope these examples helped y'all out and gave you a sense of, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for the likes. And I truly hope that this situation gave you a sense of understanding of how to better yourself and have a better plan, and just to understand what's happening. So let me see. I had one more example. Catching buses, I think is okay, one bus if you're catching it within 3 miles. But even then, avoid catching these buses to people's homes. And I gave you the one exception. I try to be very detail oriented. So an example would be an 11-minute drive is equivalent to a 23-minute bus ride, one bus. And if you walked for an 11-minute drive, that walk would be like an hour, 13 minutes. And then this is 2.3 miles, something like that. So that would be more of a comfortable bus zone for me, right? Like if I'm catching public transportation, one bus, 2 to 3 miles, 2.5 miles, something like that. 23-minute bus ride. Some of those bus rides are like 15 minutes, but you have a right to do what you want to do. But one thing I can tell you is when I give you a suggestion, it works, y'all. Doing this way or living this way that I do, I repel a lot of narcissists. It's not a lot they could do, because I'm not a lady. I ain't one of them Negroes that's catching no 2 and 3 buses to your crib or to your residence or house. I'm just not doing it. I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm not in Roosevelt High School in St. Louis, Missouri, walking down to the Grand Bus with my friends, getting off on the South Side and getting off with my girlfriends, my homegirls back in the day, and then gonna get my family to give me a ride home. I'm not in high school. And even then, that was a short bus ride. The Grand Bus from Roosevelt High School, it's one bus, right? But, that's a teenage behavior. But once you become an adult, bringing in teenage behaviors into your adulthood and you dealing with narcissists and transportation, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble. You just will. So I hope this video helped. And I will always try to do videos here at Advanced Insight Channel. I cover a lot of things that other channels don't, and other channels cover things that I don't. This is why they call it content creation, because the content here is unique to life, y'all. Very unique to real life. And I try to keep it that way so that there's some education and learning and understanding the way I do it and how it works. I just canceled an event. I just canceled an event that I could have went to because the Ubers would have been over $120. 60 to 70 there, 60 to 70 back. I canceled. The food would have been up to $40. I saved $160 not going to that event. What I'm also going to do is with the transportation thing, and I had made a decision. I don't celebrate holidays like that anyway, but sometimes the holidays is basically like a day off. So I figured this out. I'm not the type of person on that day off where I like being at somebody else's residence. So what I'm going to do for myself to prevent cancellations is learn myself better, and just hang out with other people like on weekends and stuff. But the holiday for me is a sleep in day. And my kids are the same way. That's a day off of work, and that's a relax, chill at the house, eat and sleep in day. And that's what I'm going to do, is just not schedule this stuff in the first place instead of letting people down, and just hang out with people other days. But Narcissist Transportation. The good thing about this channel is the suggestions or advice I give you, I follow on myself. That's why I'm able to do this video, because I'm not giving suggestions and not knowing what I'm talking about, because I just experienced the situation. I canceled, y'all. Ain't nobody gonna pay no $120 to come see you. And if you do this, if you're willing to do this for somebody, I'm guaranteeing you ain't nobody gonna do it for you. Unless it's one of your parents or grandparents that's deceased or something. Anybody that's gonna do something like that for you, they already dead, y'all. They in a grave site. People not caring about you. Cancel this bullshit. Take yourself first, because a narcissist always putting themselves first with their selfish asses. That's why they're not asking you if you need a ride. A narcissist will let you come to their house every freaking week and spend $100 to $200 getting to their freaking house. Narcissists don't care about you. So if you're not paying for expensive Ubers to get to their residence, and you're not catching buses to their house, you're basically not around these people that much, and so you won't be abused. Tune in for my video later today, Narcissist and Text Messaging. I'm going to be doing that one later today on this Saturday. So I'm going to be ending this video because my sons have activities to go to today. Not going to nobody's house, y'all. My sons is following the advice on my channel too. I'm not doing this channel and giving you these suggestions and telling you not to be on buses to people's houses, and my sons hopping on buses going to people's houses. My sons don't catch buses to people's residence, y'all. They don't do it. Their mother is the Advanced Insight Channel lady. So my family is schooled, y'all. I got them schooled, okay? Anybody in my family know the game, okay? So please like, share, and subscribe. Tune in for more right here at the Advanced Insight Channel. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for the comments. Thank you, Oisha, for your comment Again, please like, share, and subscribe. Look forward to the video for later, y'all. Thank you. Bye. I'll be recording later.